Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in my backyard with an 18 by 24 inch canvas and some cookie cutters, some of which I kept, saved for years, and the others that came from Hobby Lobby just the other day. I don't think it matters whether they're round or square, and I did tuck those inside each other, but I'm not sure that that's how I'm going to work this. I'm kind of feeling like doing something a little more irreverent than that. Like in, can I get away with? What can I get away with? I can get away with that. Ha! So, I think I'm going to put those aside so I can remember what I want to do with those. And I'm going to spread some paint with my OXO omelet turning spatula, and look for the picture when you open the Amazon link under the video, and that should be of great assistance to you. And if you can't find it, ask me, I'll give it to you. That's happened a few times recently, so I'm okay with that. Just ask. Okay, that's not working really well. There is a marble in there. I would just as soon not pour out. I see a lump too. Maybe that's bubbles. We use a torch to get rid of bubbles. Often. I'm not going to take all the time in the world to put that back on right now because I have better things I want to do with my time. I'm going to give these all a shake because there's Floetrol and GAC 800 to keep my paint from cracking in all of my pre-mixed bottles of paint. They all have a pouring medium in them of some kind or another. The reason I'm spreading paint on the canvas is because when I put my cookie cutters down, I like to form a seal between the paint and the cookie cutter before I put other things in. I do kind of wish that I had, there we go, there's a lid container. If you keep your squeeze bottles handy, try not to get stuff on the bottom of your lid container. Anyway, I keep all my lids in there, and I think we're going to just put these right back again where I had them. Yes, I see that. And I think the other lump went away, thank you. Thank goodness. I'm going to use this, even though I thought I was going to use it in some other way. I'm going to use it right now. And around each of my cookie cutters, I am going to add a little puddle of paint, because in a submersion technique that I've been playing with, my best method, and being somewhat successful, somewhat not successful, submersions often can lead to lacing, which is a really nice pattern, and I have not got it completely sussed yet, that's for sure. I'm going to put that the dull side down this time and see if that works for me. Take this. My whole plan, may or may not work, is to squeeze a little bit of everything in everywhere and continue to rotate that until I get something I like. This is white pearl. That'll go best in there. Maybe a drop in there. I'm just going to keep going back and forth and around and around. And I will put some black in too, especially there. If it'll squeeze out, maybe a different container would be better. Yes. I am trying to do a bunch of black and white or black and pearl artworks, and I also have included in my agenda the black, white, gold, and silver. Even though I'm not a huge fan of silver, I think it's going to work fine for what we're doing. I'm just going to try and keep it varied. I have another color, gold. I like this other color of gold. It's a little more orange. And I think I found out the hard way that if you overfill, you get yourself in trouble because things leak on the canvas. I'm not promising myself or you that I can keep all of these in check while I try and tip the canvas. What my plan is to go ahead and start by tipping a little bit, seeing what happens, and pulling the outside ring off. Now, because this is in the white puddle, I'm making a black puddle around. Yes, I am. I'm just being irreverent. I'm making up rules as I go along, just like I always do. I think if I remove the cookie cutters on the outside first, that I can actually have something of a submerged effect. And we shall see, which is hopefully letting the paint, let's just do something else first. until the paint looses itself. I don't know if we have enough paint on the whole canvas, but whoops. Okay, well, I guess we've figured that out. I'm going to hold that right down and let it go the other way. And I'm watching things flow. I also started, that kind of means I moved my puddle. So I'm going to just lift that outside ring up, and because there's cool stuff in there. And I'm not a paint waster in general. I'm going to wipe my fingers off, and I'm going to allow these things. Yep, that seeped okay. That went right under there. That's good. Let's just continue with our saving of the paint. Right into the water bucket. And throw your water bucket water with your paint in it outside in the grass, or suffer the consequences of having to pay a plumber to replace your pipes. Because that paint really, really, really does build up. And if you ever wonder, just check inside your bucket that you've been using for a while. Because it's really hard to get off unless you do it immediately. Okay, so I'm not minding much of that. It's a variation on, you know, submersion. It's a variation on my normal cookie cutter pour. We have some nice differentiated areas as I go along. I may decide to add more black or more white. I can actually slide this somewhere else entirely, which kind of appeals to me right at the moment. So I'm going to do that. It's another no rules moment brought to you by me. And because paint flows to paint, even though I have a marble lodging itself in the spout because I'm running out of white in that particular container, I'm gonna let that white paint be. Really? Okay, fine. I'm not gonna try and rescue that paint. I really want to just pick that up and put it down here. So, because I really want to, I'm going to really try. And let's see how that works for me in a minute. Let's spread a little something out. I'm not positive I can pick that up. I used to pick them up with a sheet of plastic. And I made a couple new edge catchers. And I really wish I had a little tiny piece. But if I did have a little tiny piece, I would need it to be very clean so that I could pick that up. Why don't we try it anyway? Because I'm just like that. Alright, it's a little bit, I need a smooth spot. I'm going to try and pick that up. I'm going to plop it right there. Because I can. And because I'm like that. I'm also going to scrape all of the extra paint right off that edge catcher, right back onto my artwork. Sometimes I have trouble calling them paintings because they're not always painted with brushes. But they are always artworks. And I do have fun with my squeeze bottles, if you can't tell. I'm letting you know. I highly recommend giving it a shot. I'd like to just fill in some of these places, because I do expect to be using that edge catcher in a minute to catch some edges. You know what? I missed a spot I want right here. And I expect those, yeah, to fill in. Yeah, I think I'll be filling in some of them first. Alright, so now I have a mass of paint, and it's kind of pretty, and I can always swipe things. And I'm going to let that seep right out under there, sort of, kind of, anyway. Take my extra paint and let it drip. Put my cookie cutter into the bucket. Move some of my paint out of the way because 18 by 24 inch canvases are interesting to juggle at any time. So, put that edge catcher right behind me, and that will catch this edge if I want it to. Let's see where the paint wants to go. First of all, I kind of like this edge to start with. I do have a stretcher bar in the middle of the back of these, which is a really handy thing. I'm going to let some of that go that way. Whoops. Ah, it's a really big canvas. Alright, so let's recenter our paint as best I can. I'm going to let it pool. And then I'm going to squeeze it so it covers an edge. I'm going to put that edge catcher down. And I'm going to try and notice what I'm doing with my paint. And hope that we get some rest areas in this, which I'm not overly confident about right now, but we are getting some pretty nice cells on the edge catcher too. Trying to keep my eye on where that's going. Trying to keep the love bugs from making me crazy. Working outside, you get helicopters, lawnmowers, love bugs, you name it, you get it. And the only ones that really drive me crazy are the ones that land on my legs. Got some major black paint there. I can also take that paint that's right on my edge catcher and I can slide it down a little. What was I going to say? I don't know. I'm distracted by masses of paint flowing everywhere. I kind of want to get the paint off my arm. And I think I'm going to do that. Like so. Where am I going to put it? Looks like I could use a space right there, right off my arm. Yes. And again, right off my arm. The edge catcher's next, believe me. That's pretty cool, honestly. And I could put some white over here and some white down here and be pretty happy with all of that. So let's see, after I take some of the paint off my arm. The bigger the canvas, the bigger the mess. So, I keep telling you that I can take paint, so I'm going to do that. Whoop, where'd I get the water from? I think that came off my arm when I tried to clean myself. Okay, so there, that's paint that just came right off edge catcher. And there's more of the same. I don't mind the gray tones. I kind of think I should have stuck with my plan about the white, but it'll be okay. I know it will. I hate to waste paint, and I'm kind of really liking the way this looks. We haven't torched yet. I'm going to throw that spatula, Princeton Catalyst spatula, back into the bucket. And I'm going to throw some gold right down here where I want it to be. And I'm going to use my new little pointy tool. My new little Princeton Catalyst spatula. And there's obviously some other... Oh, I got a big drip. Okay. I'm having logistical trouble today. I like this little spatula very much because I can drag with it and make marks with it very nicely. Okay, so that being said, I'd like to try it. But I have some rest areas and I don't think I want to mess them all up. So I have some more, I have another space over here that I want to put white in. Yes, I'm using my finger, it happens. Okay, so, what else? I don't know. I love black and gold and pearl and silver together, so nothing I'm seeing is bothering me. I'm going to check my edges, and if I have that white corner over here, way over where you can't see it, I'm not going to worry about it until a few minutes from now, because I want to continue on with what I've started, where I started. And that would be, at least, finish that gold off. And the same on that edge, I think. Yeah, that's good. I did catch that other area. I do have skewers if I want to do something. But so far, the places I was going to use a skewer, I can use this sharp-pointed arrow style tool. There goes my speech impediment again. Anyway, I don't much, but I'm umming now, so forgive me. Looking for any missing areas on the canvas where I should put some paint. It helps if I put my glasses on, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use any paint that fell over the edge. Also, I think I'm almost done. I think we have 4 minutes left, and if you appreciate what I do and you want to help support the studio, I could use some help right now. There's Patreon and PayPal places to contribute. Both icons on my YouTube header and links below the video in the description. If you like the artwork that you see and you would like to see the wet and dry versions, look for the Facebook album link at the bottom of the description under the video. Look also in the description under the video for my paint mix, my Floetrol and GAC 800 mix, how I mix my acrylic paints. So if you want to repeat that, you can do that. Sometimes there's Pinterest links, so you can go visit my boards, which is kind of cool. I'm going to use another Princeton Catalyst spatula, some of which are actually listed on that Amazon link, which is a pretty cool place to go shop, even if you're just checking out the stuff that I put there to see what you might like in future, there or somewhere else, whatever. Just for future reference. Okay, so that's covered. Mostly. I see that black. I don't want that black in there. Where's my white? Want a torch just to see what happens, but I want to cover that right now. And I have a little piece of canvas there, right there. I think 2 minutes, and then I'm going to have to clean myself up pretty thoroughly. This is neat. We torch to help release the patterning from the paint. Because when we use pouring medium or Floetrol and GAC, whatever we're putting in there, helps the paint not mix together. And then, because it's not mixing together, it will also create these gorgeous cells that you see here that seem to be worked out very nicely this time. So I mentioned Pinterest, I mentioned Amazon, I mentioned Patreon, I mentioned PayPal, I mentioned my pouring recipe. I think I hit them all. My artwork is for sale. If you go to my Facebook pages of a similar name, you will find a Shop Now button. I sell everything from coffee mugs to greeting cards. You can spend almost no money, or you can spend as much money as you want on buying a reproduction. As long as it's posted on pixels.com or Fine Art America, you'll find the link as Shop Now on my page. So I have just this one spot left. We didn't release a lot more cells, but I think we got a really nice piece of art. At least I'm very pleased with myself. Somebody's going, aren't you always? And I'm going like, you'd be surprised. But never mind. I'm going to use my wet cloth and quickly clean all the nasty paint. Wow, where did that come from? Let's use a different tool. I want to say thank you to all the contributors who've just recently helped me out a little bit, and all the contributors that have kept me painting up until now. Thank you everyone else for your comments and your kind words. I really appreciate our conversations. I don't mind answering your questions so long as you're willing to check under the video in the comments to see if they might be answered already in one way or another. Otherwise, ask me at will. And we are pretty well done, other than the fact that I might want to take a skewer here or there, or wherever. Not too much, really. I mean, I could mess with it, but I guess I'm just having an accidental art week where I'm trying different methods that you can try too. And the GAC 800 keeps my paint, when it's thick like over here, from cracking, and I recommend it highly to anybody who wants to do this. It's not inexpensive, but you don't use very much. You just use 10% to 90% color, and then you add your Floetrol after that first batch is mixed thoroughly. I am going to say, wow, we got about a half a minute left, and this is Priscilla Batzell at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in Spring Hill, Florida. Hoping if you're ever in my area that you come to visit me, and we can just enjoy the art together. And I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, surprisingly, or not. I will see you in the next video. See you then. Bye for now. Priscilla out.